We welcome you into week 6. Yes, week 6 already of the Mike Turner Show. Hello, everyone. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Turner. Mike, hard to believe that the midpoint of the season has arrived, and boy, did you hit a high note at a good time. Win 52-24 at home over the Limestone Saints in a performance that features a dominant offense, a dominant kicking game, and a dominant defense. What do you like about what your team did in a 4-touchdown win over the Saints on Saturday?
Well, I think you've got to like just about most of everything happened yesterday. We had some breakdowns in some places. We got to do better the first opening drive. I think we scored 8 out of the next 9 out of that, but we didn't get anything done the opening drive. Our defense just comes in and dominates the whole first half until that last drive where they get a field goal. So. But gosh, the effort of those kids, the focus, so happy for our kids on special teams. We scored a touchdown on that. It looked like we shored up a lot of the other areas in there that we really needed to. I think a good thing is we only punted one time. Mm-hmm. Is that right? So that's always a positive deal. But just excited about the way they played and about being one spirit, one heart, and about being united.
Yeah, season highs for points. Yards rushing, total offense. You bring up the drive charts. Yeah, you go 3 and out on the first, but then you score every time you touch the football after that, save for one fumble late. Is there a specific moment or time that stands out to you in that game where you thought, hey, it's all going to click today?
Well, I think after we got I think the way our defense started the game off and got them in a hole, it could be offense, defense, or special teams, but the way somebody starts you in one of those series is going to have an effect on your football team. And I thought that was a great start for them. They held them 3 and out. We got the ball back. We went and scored with it. Got something going on right there. Responded in the kicking game every time. Had one for a touchdown. Had one call back that was a long run. Had a couple other shots at it. So just a good day, and today to see them play excited. But, you know, as much as anything, buddy, getting to play at Mossy Creek, that was very special.
Yeah, 2,800 miles traveled in the first 5 weeks of the season before you really get to roost.
Right.
Now, did you feel that had an impact on it?
Oh, I think it did. I think anytime we play at home, we feel like you've got that extra edge, like as you should, with a home crowd. And I think our crowd, we've had 2, and they've been very vocal and very loud for us and been very supportive. And I'm grateful to all the parts on campus, you know, the student body, the other parts of the athletic department, the faculty and their support. It's been a special start.
Got the day started defensively, you mentioned, with the 3 and out, but Mario Mezier had a pick. And then you do something that you haven't done since week 1, score off of a turnover. How nice is it to get that monkey off your back? Well,
it's great to do that, and it's also great to motivate the defense. Turn it over and let's score, turn it over and let's score. And there should be a reward for that. And that's also because we did score, that's one of the goals for the defense they can check off. But I think that's being kids, being totally attuned to one another and being excited for each other. And that's what this game's supposed to be about.
Eagles get the job done over the Limestone Saints, 52-24. We'll start breaking down the first half when we get back after this on the Mike Turner Show.
As your Touchstone Energy Cooperative, providing you dependable, affordable power is our first priority. Come rain or come shine. But you can also count on us for localized information on the latest renewable energy options. Information that's every bit as reliable as our energy. Learn more at touchstoneenergy.com.
AEC, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. Member-owned, service-driven.
Back on the Mike Turner Show, Eagles triumphant in Week 6 over the Limestone Saints, 52-24. I'm Adam Cavalier alongside the Eagles head man, Mike Turner. Mike, a first half where, again, much like the game, you dominate. Had a 220-91 advantage in yards of total offense. Pretty much the majority of that was on the ground. But when you did go to the air, it was successful. Tyler Thackerson got some run in a series or two, completes a nice pass to Devon Moore. He makes some people miss, and not to mention hits Quentin Phillips for a touchdown. What did you like out of the passing game when you did utilize it?
Well, number one, we got Tyler in the game, and that was we had met with him on Friday and talked to all the quarterbacks and told them our plan was to get Tyler in the game the third or fourth series, whichever was best for us. And we were able to do that, and that's always good when you can back up what you say regardless, you know. And he's a young man that's very capable of running this offense and helping us be successful, no question about it. And it was always positive for him to go in and have some success at what he did. And to have two quarterbacks that our football team knows both of those guys can operate, and they can operate at a high level and get them in the end zone, very, very important.
Yeah, it certainly didn't feel like the offense missed a tick at all.
No.
When Tyler was in. In fact, I believe I was talking to Kevin McKeith in preseason. He said we could win a SAC championship with Derek Evans, Tyler Thackerson, or Tyson Herron.
Right.
How nice is that as a luxury?
Oh, that's great that you've got some depth at that position, that you've got some leadership, that you've got some guys that know the offense that can help each other, and it's really a positive thing to look at our quarterbacks, how they back each other up, how they support each other. They're evaluating when they come to the sideline and helping out. So, and then they're always willing to help me out too on the sideline.
Had to do some things this week that are atypical. Usually, you're the guy that calls in the signals or is signaling in the signals, I suppose, but can't do that when you've got three people around a program that were here last year.
Sure.
Tony Iroli, Brock Pursley, and Coy DeWeese. How did it go with the system in place to communicate that stuff in? I'd say presumably pretty well.
I think it went well. It was the only one that struggled with it was me, from having to break long habits. And I'd start out saying it so those guys can signal it. I'd look and I'd be signaling it just like they were. But that was a change that we needed to make, was to be in the huddle, to let somebody else signal it in, to let them use some different types of call names, for us to do a little bit more at the line of scrimmage, sort of a freeze, that type of deal. But yeah, it was, the main thing we did is we made that decision on Monday to our kids, so that they weren't worried about who's been here before and who's going to be over there on that sideline, that kind of thing. We needed to take them out of that thought process and just make sure we were about us running our offense and executing.
A first half where you spread the ball around. A lot of people get touches, and a lot of people have success with those touches. 7.7 yards per carry on the day. How were you able to spread the ball around so well, and why was that so successful?
Well, I think it goes back to, we've talked about those fresh legs. This offense is always about explosion. It's about that first step being the 100-yard dash step. And to those kind of kids, that first step is an explosive step, has to be. And we were able to get some kids in there. Now we're in we were in our mid-season deal, and those kids now they're not thinking. They're more reaction. They've had plenty of reps and had opportunities, and it's fun to watch them go out and to execute and not miss a beat, reality.
That principle, just to jump ahead to the second half for a moment, is that principle the reason why you rip off 3 runs of longer than 50 yards after halftime?
Oh, I think so. I think, we talk about a 4-yard mentality, and that's common sense. 3 times 4 is a first down. But hopefully you get enough of those 4-yard runs that breaks something for 50 or 60. And I think it showed that we have those guys that can be that explosive. They can make something happen in a hurry. But just to get more of them in the game like we've been able to in the last couple of weeks is going to help us down the road.
Eagles were up 21-3 at the halftime break over the Limestone Saints. We take a look at those first half highlights.
Tight end to the right of the line for the Saints. Phillips moves Patton off of his right hip in the gun. Snap back at the thighs. Phillips stands in. He's hit. Ball's out. Bembry knocked it free. And the Saint falls on top of it. Cameron Thompson with the wherewithal to pick it up, but Brian Bembry shoots in from the backside, forces the fumble, gets the sack, and a great effort for the Eagles defense on the opening possession.
I'll tell you what, if that's a sign of things to come.
Desmond Farrell, who's at his own 40. Cook from the A and Eagles in the end zone. Gets one off with his right foot. A lovely punt that sends Farrell back to the 35, fields it cleanly, and heads right with a lot of running room. Farrell across the 45 and 50 into Limestone territory, moving right sideline inside the 45 and down to the 40 where he's knocked down by Means. Great kick by Cook, but he outkicks his coverage. And
with Eco Plus. See manufacturer's limited warranty book for details. Fleet Tire, Woodland Avenue.
A jump ball as we get back between Mario Mezier and a Limestone Saint, and Mezier wins the wide side left in Kelly and Phillips. Evans takes option keeper right side. Evans sprints free and he's in. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Derek Evans faked the dive to Marcus Williams. Kept it. Right hash at the Saints 9. Up 7-0. 10:41 to play in the second quarter. Evans takes option keeper left side. A late pitch to Marcus Williams. Williams diving for the pylon left side, and Williams gets it. 4-6. Saints touchdown. 26-yard line. Thackerson back to pass, looking left sideline, airs it out into the end zone for Phillips. Phillips hauls it in. Did he get his foot down? Yes! Touchdown! Carson-Newman! Tyler Thackerson. 26.
Those are the first half highlights. The Eagles were up 21-3 at the halftime break over the Limestone Saints. Mike Turner, a lead at the half for the first time in 2 weeks, and your largest halftime lead of the season. What would you say at the halftime break to make sure that this team could finish?
Well, we reaffirmed what we were doing on offense and defense. We reaffirmed about us taking care of the football, us not helping them, whether it be offense or defense. But we sure really talked about finishing. Let's go out of here with a peace of mind and a clear conscience that at the end of this football game, you've played it out, you've given of yourself, that you have nothing left in reserve. And it was great to watch. And you know, we talked about it was important. My offense was going to get the ball first. A big thing in this football game, they just kicked the field goal to make it 21-3, and we were stressing the point about we have to score when we touch the football out there. Well, we got it done on a kickoff return. That's even better. So I think that was a big thing to return the kickoff there, no question.
Kickoff return for a touchdown to start the second half by Marcus Williams from 94 yards. First time that's happened since 2016, but sprung by a major block from Ray Arterbridge, 50 yards downfield, and Trevor McCarriv has a one-arm block throwing a guy to the turf. Now Ray Arterbridge has a one-arm block throwing a guy to the turf. How's that make you feel that it took all 11 to make that happen?
It does, and we've been so close in the last few weeks to breaking a guy. You know, you go back and watch the video, and just that half a thing, and you talk about in football, it's an 11-man game. It is. But the effort of those kids has been great. I think we're getting more comfortable in those special teams roles. And you know, we told them the first of the year that special teams mean they're special. And we're going to have guys that are going to play offense and defense are going to be on special teams because we want to make sure we're trying to get the best football player we can to get out there and be on those teams. And just great to watch them yesterday on all phases of it and have some success.
Eagles get the job done over the Limestone Saints, 52-24. Second half breakdown heads your way after these messages on the Mike Turner Show.
I joined the Guard for the simple fact that I could be home and also in the military. So I can have a civilian job and also in the military. Fire low! Fire! I would tell somebody who's trying to join the Guard, thinking about it, that it's a great opportunity. Opportunities for school, training, discipline, leadership. There's a lot of opportunities. It broadens your spectrum of life.
Back back on the Mike Turner Show. Eagles victorious over the Limestone Saints 52-24 in Week 6 as the Eagles improve to 4-2 on the year. I'm Adam Cavalier, the voice of the Eagles, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Turner. Mike, a second half where you kind of knew this was going to happen. Limestone under Tony Iruli is not going to just lay down. No. And the Saints had some scrap and some fight to them. Got it down to a 14-point lead. About 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and then Antonio Wimbush happens. You give the ball to him, 72 yards later, he's in the end zone. You're back to a 3-score game. How crucial was that touchdown?
I looked up the scoreboard, and we were talking to somebody on the headset, and went, that went to 14 points in a hurry. And, we get the football, the first snap he takes and goes to the end zone. And that was big because they were starting to feel good about themselves. And, gosh, they take on the kind of guy that's the head coach for them. He's never going to give up. And Tony's that ability and the way those guys have performed all during the year at Limestone, that they've been in every game, and there they were at a 14-point mark right there. Gosh, the play wasn't blocked very well, but we had a great athlete with the ball in his hand, and that's what made the difference.
Then, to top it off, just a classic Carson-Newman drive. You force a 3-and-out from the Saints, get the ball back with 8 minutes to go, and don't give it back until there's 17 seconds left. How about the job of your team to finish? You talked about finishing at halftime. That drive is an absolute finisher.
They did. I was very proud of them. We had all the next guys up were in the game at that time. Mm-hmm. And that was great to watch them perform, but perform at a time that it was critical to go make first downs, and they responded to that. But you take the clock from 8 minutes down to 17, that's a pretty good drive no matter where you're at. But just glad to see them get snaps when it was important, when it was critical. And that was a critical time right there.
How influential has time of possession been these past 2 weeks? You've held the ball for roughly 10 minutes more than your opponents on this 2-game winning streak.
Well, it's on two sides. One, it gives our kids on defense a chance to rest, to be fresh, to be that kind of explosion and that kind of physical team that we want them to be. It plays into our hands to drive the football. And I'll take every 90-yard drive we can get. If we can score in one snap, that'd be awesome. But, our kids believe, and they punted the ball yesterday, and we got it on the 1-yard line or less. Mm-hmm. And they came to the sideline. We got them in the huddle. We're getting ready to go on the field, and I go, all right, man, this is what we need. And I was going to say first down, and the rest of them said 99-yard touchdown. So that was good. That was good. But they were able to take it 99 yards and score a touchdown, and that was great. And maintain the football. So it's been a big part of the last 2 weeks.
Field position really didn't matter. You bring up the 99-yard score. You scored on a field that was 89 yards long. Those were both in the first half. What's that say about your offense on the day and its ability to just continue drives?
Well, I really think we're starting to develop some resilience. Okay, that they're starting to. I don't think it's ever been about a confidence thing. I think they've had confidence, but I think they've got to the point where they understand right now, this is what I've got to do, and there's only one result if I don't. Okay, we have no chance to be successful. And I feel like they're to the point where they can count on each other, and they expect to make plays.
Eagles get the job done over the Limestone Saints, 52-24. Before we get to the Eagles spotlight, we take a look at those second half highlights.
At Berktar Stadium last season. Second half is underway with Martin's boot. An end-over end kick will come down to Williams along the hash's right side of the 6. Williams straight ahead across the 35 and 40. Williams loads of running room. A great block along the right sideline. Williams kicks on the afterburners. Williams, house call! Touchdown! Carson! McCowan, the splitbacks, took care of the tight end right. Too wide to the wide side left. Dive, right side, McCowan. McCowan lurches to the goal line and gets in for 6. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Drake McCowan finds pay dirt for the first time since the Virginia Union game. And the Eagles piling it on. 17 to play in the third. Eagles up 35-3. Phillips takes the shotgun snap on 1st and 10. In the pocket, airs it out, deep ball, middle of the field for Rao, wide open, catches it between the hashes at the 8, and sprints into the end zone. Touchdown Saints. 54 yards through the air. And Kelly, the wide receivers. Ackerson takes. Give on the dive to Wimbush, spins through a pile, and Wimbush sprinting free right sideline. Wimbush across the 40 and 30, deep into Saint territory. Wimbush sprints for 6, touchdown, Carson-Newman. Wimbush skedaddles, 72 yards to the house. And the Eagles counter in a major way, 44-24. First and 10, Carson-Newman right hash at the Saint 17. Thackerson takes. Option keeper right side. Thackerson to the 10, sprints to the 5. Thackerson takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Thackerson slathers some icing on the cake with Phillips from the gun. Or no, check that, new quarterback in for the Saints. He's grabbed in the backfield by Zach Fuller and dropped.
Those are the second half highlights as the Eagles prevail over the Limestone Saints 52-24. Time now for our Eagles Spotlight, and well-timed this week, Michael Watrang shines it on Marcus Williams.
Marcus Williams has been a consistent contributor for Carson-Newman's special teams and backfield since arriving on campus in 2015. His role reached a turning point in a Week 5 overtime win at Catawba. He scored a go-ahead touchdown in the fourth quarter, and his block set the stage for the game winner in overtime. It has provided the defining learning experience to this point in his career.
Getting in more showed me what I need to work on a lot more, especially when it comes to game situations. Just little things watching in film, seeing where I went wrong, where I can do better, and improving. From here on out, it just shows where I need to be more consistent. The little things I need to work harder at to get that playing time, because, you know, playing time isn't just always given. It's, you know, you got to earn, you know, your right to play. So I feel like that kind of showed me, you know, where I need to work at and how I can provide myself that opportunity to be a playmaker on the field.
The 2018 backfield is a deep and talented group. Running backs coach Mike Clowney called Williams persistent and has used Tiger Woods as an example for the ball carrier.
I think one thing that sticks out to me, I watched the interview on Tiger Woods, and he talked about how he was never the longest guy, never the straightest guy, wasn't the best putter, but he learned to work to be good at all of them, and eventually he wound up being the best golfer in the world. And so I think that's the thing that you're looking at with Marcus. Like, you may not have everything that everyone's got, but we got to find the best way to blend what you do have.
4 Carson-Newman rushers rank in the top 15 in the SAC in yardage on the year. There's no shortage of options for Mike Turner. So what separates Marcus Williams from the pack? One word comes to mind for Mike Clowney: persistence.
When you look at Marcus, you know, it's probably not as dynamic as you would say Wimbo is. And then Sharon, speed, initial get off the ball speed, 2 initial get off the ball speed. You know, those are things that kind of characterize them. I think the thing that characterizes Marcus is he's just persistent. You watch him run, you know, he's constantly got his feet moving. He's constantly trying to grind out that extra yard. You know, he's going to do whatever you ask him to do to kind of give himself a chance to play.
Playing time and carries are important, but pale in comparison to the experience for Williams. There have been highs and lows as an Eagle, but the 2018 version of the Orange and Blue has turned it up a notch.
We're a lot closer than past years. I mean, from, you know, the freshmen to the seniors about to graduate, it's just we formed a bond that really close, and I feel like we as a team, players and coaches, you know, emphasized in the beginning of the year we need to be united. So I feel like as a team, as, you know, people in general, we really took that to heart.
Consistency is ultimately the difference maker for Marcus Williams. Clowney said that he can put it in the running back in any situation and has the utmost confidence he will do well. After late game carries at Catawba, the Florida native's belief is on the rise. For the Eagle Sports Network, I'm Michael Watrang.
All right, thank you very much, Michael Watrang. Mike Turner, you know, we shoot these packages ahead of time. Not bad timing. Marcus Williams, a rushing touchdown, a kickoff return for a touchdown. And Antonio Wimbush has kind of gotten the the main glory of the 2 ACL tears last year in his return, but Marcus Williams has certainly rehabbed from his as well, and an integral part to your attack this year.
No question, and very, very proud of him. He was probably the slower one to rehab to come along. I mean, he was right there at the same thing with Antonio, and his came along just maybe a little bit slower, and Marcus got a little bit later start during fall camp. Still had to learn and believe in himself and in his heart that he was rehabbed and everything was good. And boy, we came to him in the first game or two and said, "Listen, we got to have you respond the right way." And he's picked that up and really had the last few weeks has been a major player.
Turn your attention now to homecoming. Always a special time at Mossy Creek. You welcome in one of your old pals in Tim Clifton, one of the deans of the SAC coaches who's been around the block forever and a day at Mars Hill. You know what you're going to get out of the Lions, double reverse pass, some trickery, but A, a very talented offense for Mars Hill, B, homecoming. How special is this upcoming week?
Well, anytime it's homecoming at Carson-Newman, it's very, very special. It's tied into the people coming back to the creek, whether they're athletes or not athletes, but the alums are very, very proud of this institution and what it's done in their lives. And most of them that are coming back have had children go to school here and graduate also at the same time. I was playing Mars Hill as, you know, there's 2 Baptist institutions an hour and a half away from each other. But gosh, Tim has done a great job in his role as a head coach throughout the years at Mars Hill and has provided very great programs. And you know, right now you look at those folks, they're as dangerous as anybody in this league on offense, scoring points, and you know, on defense, Mars Hill's always Mars Hill's defense. They're going to be a good football team.
They might have the single most dangerous player in the country in Craig Rucker, second in the country in receiving yards. I mean, 5 touchdowns, a sack record 2 weeks ago. That'll be a challenge to slow him down. And again, an offensive coach that can put him in the right situations.
Oh, and not only in the right situations, puts him in the right places. We've seen him line up in multiple positions, you know, on the football field. And Tim is going to be that creative guy, and there'll always be something special for Carson-Newman. There's never been a time there wasn't. But, gosh, if they just do what they've been doing, they're dangerous enough as they are on offense. They're a very solid and explosive football team.
Talked about homecoming being a special time, but other special times happening at Mossy Creek, literally Mossy Creek. You baptized some folks last Thursday. How special is that?
Well, you know, we had one a couple of weeks ago before the Wingate game. It had like, I think, 12, 13 kids plus and a coach that was baptized. And then this past Thursday we had, I think, about 4 kids or 5, and then another assistant coach baptized at that. And that's been 2 great celebrations at Mossy Creek, and we've followed them up with 2 great Saturday celebrations right after that. And but it's always special to see God at work in the lives of young men and their commitment and what that stands for. And we're grateful to Alan Duncan and Marty Blakely for they're the big dunkers, and it gets in there, and it takes 2 of them to hold them up. And but it's a special area down there. Mossy Creek has that, but now Mossy Creek is a place that's a godly place, and you have baptisms.
Special time directly before the game too. Zach Reese, Jacob Reese's older brother, confined to a wheelchair with cerebral palsy, an honorary captain before the game. How special was that?
Oh, he is such a friend of the kids on this program. I mean, they all know him, got a name for him, and you know, he's always around them and encouraging them and telling them. He probably knows more about them than most of the coaches do around here about those kids. But it was great to see his face out there on the field, and I'm grateful to the officials who welcomed him on the field, made him a part of the ceremony, and just to get a chance to visit with him on his way out right before the kickoff. He's a young man that when other kids look at him and they're going, "Man, I'm blessed. I'm blessed."
And man, that's a good note to close on. Thanks as always.
Thank you.
That's Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Turner. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier. This has been the Mike Turner Show. Thanks for watching.